First Sip Brew Box is a one-of-a-kind subscription service for craft beer lovers based right here in Pittsburgh. Every month, First Sip will send you a box full of craft beer enthusiast essentials including t-shirts, glassware, and even food. Right now, our friends at First Sip Brew Box have an offer for you. Just sign up for a 3-month subscription and get your 4th month free. Just enter the code HOPNATION when you sign up at firstsipbrewbox.com. That's HOPUSA at checkout to get your 4th month free at firstsipbrewbox.com.
Woe to you, O earth and sea.
It's the Hop Nation USA Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Hop Nation USA, Pittsburgh's number 4 craft beer podcast. As far as we know, I am one of your main hosts, Adam, and chuckling heartily over there is my other host, Steve.
I just want to know who is 2 and 3.
I'm not going to say anything. I want them to fight it out.
Well, I mean, we do have a guest with us tonight.
Yes.
And he'll probably take 2 or 3 back when he comes back.
Probably,
Right.
yeah. So
Don't set the bar too high, you guys. Come on. I wanted to ease back in like an old man into a tub.
Nope. You and Doug want to start up again? Well, now you got competition.
So, welcome to Pittsburgh's top 5 craft beer podcast. Because there might even be one out there I don't even know about.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in December, top 5, top 6.
Welcome to Futurecast, where we're worse than what
These
we were.
scales are real arbitrary, you guys. Don't worry about it.
But yes, I am Adam. That is Steve. He is on the board. He's on the knobs, the 1s and 2s. He is the guy that's going to make us sound good, I hope. After what happened before we hit the record button, we got our work cut out for us.
Amateur hour.
It turns out you should probably hook up everything before you actually try to do something.
Yeah.
Did you know? Top tip.
Did you know?
Top tip.
Podcasting top tips with Adam.
Number 1, know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Number 2, if you don't, make sure you don't have a guest on who sees everything while it's happening.
Who's been doing it a lot longer.
These pretty little chords have a point A and a point B.
But yes, we do have a guest who's been doing this a lot longer and has given us a good razzing before the microphones started recording.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. We are joined by Jason Cercone. He was actually on episode 60, I believe.
49.
49.
I had to
60 was
research
something else.
just to make
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Man, Iron Trap.
60 was Orrox. Yeah.
Correct.
Dumb.
Yeah.
But we were also joined by our favorite third mic host when he's here, Dennis.
What it do, guys?
Welcome.
Dennis, get closer to the mic.
Nailed it.
You did. You crushed it. Over the fence.
You got it good. But we're here, and we're going to be talking Oktoberfest beers.
Yes, we are.
We're a little bit behind.
A lot of it behind.
Well, yeah, I mean, last weekend was probably the last we could do it.
It was, however,
Appropriately?
I believe we had precedent on that one since we were at Spoonwood.
Yeah, it was turtle time, so.
Yes.
And that wasn't a turtle waste of time.
I see what you did there.
By the way, still a good beer.
Yeah, still a good beer. Yeah,
still a good beer.
I've been drinking it. Have you been drinking yours?
Oh,
Dennis?
yeah, I'm down to 1
You
can.
aged yours a week and then
Yeah, I aged mine a whole week.
Fantastic.
Such a good smooth drinker. I enjoyed that one.
So we are going to shift gears away from Spoonwood. Once again, thank you for having us on.
You're welcome, guys. It's your show, dude.
I mean, you're something.
Oh, to Spoonwood, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Spoonwood, not you.
I thought you were just talking to your audience. I thought you were talking to your audience for a second.
God.
I mean, you're something of a representative for Spoonwood, though,
Yes,
so
I am.
you can pass that back up
Yeah.
the chain.
I will let them know.
Well, you did basically help with the setup of the show, so you are kind of, we'll give you thanks on that one as well for saying,
Glad I could help.
yeah, hey dummies.
All the cords were plugged in. It was a good show. Go back and listen in the archives, episode 79.
So we got to talk Oktoberfest. We are a little bit behind, but that's okay. Just call us a baby's bottom. We are going to jump right into number 1 beer, You don't like you don't like that joke?
I'm not acknowledging it one way or the other.
Yeah, like a baby's bottom, we're just a little behind.
Yeah, shut up. It's best not to repeat it.
I got more if you want them.
That's all right.
You're onto some of those edibles. I think.
No, this is just Adam, top of the pops.
Like a midget at a urinal, you got to stay on your toes. So we are drinking.
Pregnant pause.
You know I can put crickets into this at any point.
I hope you do.
Yeah, well,
No, I will say, I when I did the podcast, Drinking Partners with Ed and Day, Day told a joke that didn't necessarily hit in the room, and me and Ed were just kind of like, yeah. But Ed was like, it's a podcast. It didn't hit here.
Right.
But all our listeners
Yep.
may have loved that joke. So
yeah, that's the thing.
right now, there's a bunch of people out in podcast land thinking about midget standing on his toes in a urinal, and he's like, oh my God, that's the best joke
Yeah,
ever.
there's probably dads across the
yeah.
area. Like, I'm using that one.
There's-
all 25 of them are going to be using that.
There's 5 people in Venango County having a sensible chuckle.
And then back to their beef stroganoff.
All right, to the beer,
To the
finally.
beer, yes. This is a beer podcast, by the way. So we are drinking, fresh from Texas, the Shiner Oktoberfest. Obviously, it is a Marzen-style beer.
Yeah.
Duh. It's an Oktoberfest. So this clocks in at 5.7% ABV.
Okay.
IBUs are nice and low at about a 17 or an 18.
Okay,
That's all you need to know.
fair enough.
It's an Oktoberfest. We're going to drink it.
And it's from Shiner.
And it's from Shiner.
Texas's Yingling.
Texas proud.
Although the one thing we always say about Shiner is they at least are a little more explorative.
They explorative?
Yeah,
Exploratory?
yeah, explorative. You know, like experimental.
Sure.
They try some things. That chocolate cake birthday beer they put out a couple years ago,
That was pretty awesome.
that was killer. Yingling's never done such a thing.
Let's crack this open. Let's have a try. I'm kind of surprised at the color. It seems a little bit lighter than I was expecting. It's fairly clear. I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more, not cloudiness, but kind of.
Nice copper.
Yeah.
That's a
Just
Marzen.
something-
I don't know. I don't know. It looks right to me. I think you've been drinking too many hazy beers.
Maybe
like,
that's the
too
problem.
much
he
goofy
said-
shit in your life.
Yeah.
He said, this guy, Hayes boy.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to go back to the basics.
You've had too much goofy shit this summer. you need to get back. This is pretty much
Which could
the most.
definitely be a thing,
Yeah,
having
this is the
too much
most
raisins.
basic Oktoberfest I've seen like in a while.
So this is kind of my come to Jesus moment with beers.
No,
Where I
this
need
is
to-
just getting you back to your roots.
Where
You like these. I don't
do.
I don't care.
Yeah,
for
last
these
time I
as
was on
much.
show, you hated IPAs. Are you all on the haze train now?
not on, but I, I'll
He's
watch-
haze adjacent.
You're,
Yeah,
you're,
he's adjacent. That is a good way of putting it.
you're at
Alright.
least at the station
Yeah.
watching the Hayes train.
I'll watch it go by.
The couple West Coasts we've had in past episodes recently, you've not been all on board.
No.
But you like that Freemang that we had last week at Spoonwood.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
And you like, I believe we had a hazy one down at Allegheny City not too long ago that you were into. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, the list is growing of IPAs. But let's not talk about that right now. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about this beer.
I actually like this.
That is impressive.
Yeah, I'm not usually into Oktoberfests. Although I think when we did last year's Oktoberfest episode, I think I gave good praise to the Fatheads Gusufa and the Market Garden Old Zom.
Yes.
Those are the two I like from that episode.
So when I was picking these up, I almost picked up the Fatheads for myself, just for drinking. Not for the show, just for drinking.
Just personals.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I had a try on this one as well. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too shabby at all.
It's basic. Like
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's definitely a safe bet.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit lighter in the malts than what I enjoy. I like very thick, heavy Oktoberfest beers, but this is definitely tasty for what it is. I could pick up some of the caramel malts inside of there, so it's a solid brew. If I was out and not in town, I wouldn't shy away from picking it up.
Completely agree.
Yeah, this is a style I'm just admittedly getting into. Like, I know it's been there and I've had it, but I've never really been, it's never been something I gravitated towards this time of year. This year's been a little different. I've had a few more than I'm accustomed to, and I'm digging it. And this one, like you guys said, it's very easy drinking, a little bit lighter than your typical Oktoberfest style beer. But yeah, if I was going to drink Oktoberfest, I would not walk away from that guy.
Agreed.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I
Thanks,
guess
Shiner.
Yeah, good work, Shiner. I mean, hey, you've been brewing beer for a long time, so I'm glad you figured it out. I guess.
Turns out they know what they're doing.
I mean, they're also a German brewery. We talked about this a long time ago, and I don't know which episode, but we talked about how a lot of the German American immigrants moved west,
Correct.
and that's where a lot.
west.
West. That's where you get a lot of lagers and stuff out west.
Yeah.
It's kind of an odd thing, but
Not
yeah,
just west, it's west.
it's west. Yeah.
3 times too much.
You got to
Everybody
go
does that.
past the big river. I guess while we drink on this, we'll enjoy it. We all seem to enjoy it right now.
Agreed.
But let's get to one of the reasons why we have a guest.
Because we can.
Well, because we can.
But he is here for a particular reason.
Someone's got to make sure the cords are hooked up.
Right.
Wearing his supervisor hat today.
Okay, other than because we can and other than troubleshooting.
These damn kids.
Yeah. Jason's here to promote Pittsburgh Libations Week, and that's something you talked about last time you were on, but now it's actually a reality, as in,
Yes, it is. It's a
next
huge
week reality.
freaking reality. Yeah. I mean, I know it was episode 49, but that was back in the winter or spring when we sat
it was
down?
pre-WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we'll judge it.
We're judging by the
good
wrestling
bookmark.
calendar. So, yeah, that was March, April-ish. Okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And a lot's changed and a lot's developed, and I'm happy to report we're ready to go.
Awesome.
So Pittsburgh Libations Week kicks off Friday, October 12th. It runs through Saturday, October 20th. We've got just over 30 events on the calendar right now. We've been adding a couple new ones each day. The idea was never to have so many events that it would be unmanageable for a consumer or unmanageable for us to pull off. The big one is the Kickoff Bash. When I think of a week-long celebration like this, it always in my head was there needs to be something that really lets you know it's here. And what better way than to get beer, cider, mead, spirits of all kinds under one roof. So that's what we're doing with the Kickoff Bash. So we've got close to 50 vendors in the house. It's going to be at Nova Place Friday night, October 12th, 6 to 10. Tickets are available. It's going to be a damn good time. And we put a lot of work into getting some good vendors, and they're bringing some good stuff. So Friday, October 12th is the Kickoff Bash. Tickets are on sale at universe.com/PLW Kick Off Bash. I believe all three of you gentlemen are going to be in the house,
That's the
correct?
plan.
We'll be there.
Yeah,
Sure.
awesome. So you can actually come see the faces of these lovely podcast hosts. And Dennis, the proprietor of First Sip Brew
yeah.
Box, will be in the house as well. But yeah, for all of the Hop Nation listeners out there, I put in a special discount code.
Oh.
It's $5 off your ticket if you use the discount code Hop Nation when you purchase.
Ooh.
For VIP and general admission tickets. So
Nice.
all the vendors, we got music, we've got 3 food trucks and Leona's ice cream sandwiches.
Hell yeah.
Dude, come out and party with us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's going to be a great time
Right?
for sure.
I mean, I know there's a lot of events in Pittsburgh, and that was always one of my big things. Like, am I just adding to the problem? Because you got to pick and choose.
I think
But
you're centralizing,
Yeah.
right? You're doing a lot.
that's what I really
in
feel
one.
stands out about this
Yeah.
event is we're not just a beer festival, we're just
Right.
a whiskey festival. There's a little bit of everything. So if your significant other is not a fan of beer but likes a good glass of cider or some mead, bring
You
them
are-
out and you can drink your beer and everybody is happy and you can go home.
You're
with a smile
literally
on your
talking to
face.
Adam's situation right now.
There it is.
You absolutely are.
Yeah.
And back when the PNC Park Brew Fest was happening,
Sweet baby Jesus.
exactly. That was kind of the hook to get my girlfriend to go. Was, hey, they don't just have beer. They've got wine. They've got cocktails. They've got all this other stuff.
In one big massive shit show.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on down.
It was. It was. I'll be political and say frustrating.
You should have went to Fresh Fest with the rest of us.
And that's why I was out of town that weekend. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I'm going to miss Fresh Fest,
Yeah.
but I'm going to
was-
also miss that PNC thing.
Yeah.
You didn't miss it.
Yeah.
You didn't
No, I
miss
heard.
it.
I had a lot of people tell me how much of a.
I'm
mess that
I'm
was,
sure.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sure Doug
One
gave you
of
an
our,
earful about
Oh,
it.
he did. He was texting me all day.
Oh, he
my
was-
nephew's getting
yeah.
baptized. He's like, "This, what the fuck?"
He was on the show after, and he was talking.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, him and I had a good dissection of that.
Yeah, and I can confidently say we will not have that many people in the house at the Kickoff Bash. Nor would I ever want it
Right,
that big.
right.
Like, we want to just have a good group of people that truly care about the spirits and the beer and everything that's happening in Pittsburgh. I think the vendors that are coming out, they speak for themselves. What they've done to drive the innovation in Pittsburgh Liquid. Fuck. We're so happy to have them there.
Yeah.
We're so happy for everybody to come down and enjoy their beverages for the night.
And I think the big thing is that it's all enthusiasts.
Right.
You know, on both sides of the table.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all enthusiasts, and in complete contrast to that PNC event, the PNC event was very corporate and just
very
brought
much
in national brands, whereas this event is going to be all the Pittsburgh, like
Yes.
Well, let me correct you. We do have a couple brands from outside of Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
The idea behind it, to me, was that if it's sold in Pittsburgh and people are enjoying it, there's no reason to segregate.
Right.
Right.
You want, Fatheads, one of my favorite breweries for a long time. And not knowing
there's still a special heart in Pittsburgh for them
Sure.
too. So,
but like we have Brooklyn Brewery is going to be there.
Okay, cool.
A new brewery to Pittsburgh, Two Roads. They're going to be
Okay.
there.
all right,
Yeah.
they've been on the show a couple
Yeah,
times.
Southern Tier, which I mean technically has a
Again,
brew
yeah.
pub
Right,
here,
yeah.
but yeah,
Is it open?
The brew.
don't. I will shut that shit down too.
He will throw a mic
I'm
at
just
you.
using like all the social media buzzwords I know gets under Jason's skin. I'm like,
Hashtag Hazeboy. Hashtag is it open yet? But yeah, to put a bow on that, it's going to be a nice mix of everything, and I think everybody's going to realize that we've got a lot of cool shit here in Pittsburgh. Come on down, buy your ticket. Like I said, use the Hop Nation discount code. Save yourself $5. You can use that at Federal Galley before and or after. We'd love for you guys to check them out too. It's an awesome place down in right next door to where the event's going to be. Good eats, good beer.
Solid.
Really cool people. So
Yeah, Nova's been like the hot place for these events now.
Yeah.
It's a great space. Too.
Yeah,
like,
it's
Fresh Fest was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's really becoming the event capital,
Yeah.
which is really cool. When we met with them and realized how nice of a space it was, we're like, hell yeah, we're jumping on this too.
Yeah.
So pause it now, go buy your tickets.
So you also talked about you're bringing back over a couple beers, a couple brews.
Over a couple of beers, yes sir.
I'm trying to not direct traffic. We got to stay number 4.
Oh, that was subterfuge.
Yes.
I like
I
that.
see
Yes.
what just
I
happened.
like that.
There you
like
go.
Cold War propaganda going on.
Yeah.
Little Tokyo Rose action.
Yeah,
I have a deviousness to me.
I'm trying to figure out. I didn't want to rush that. I figured it's time to resurrect, but I want to do it differently. Before, I think one of the bigger problems with the show before is it didn't necessarily have an identity, because one episode it was about beer, and one episode maybe we'd be talking about fantasy football or wrestling or whatever, and it was all over the map. I want to capture some of that, but also in a more controlled way, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to be real particular about the format that I roll out, because my thought is I'd love to get some beer personalities on there, but we don't have to talk about beer for an hour.
Right.
Let's talk about something you're truly passionate about. We can talk about beer for a while, but let's talk about, I'm not a big politics guy, but we used to use that for an example.
That's a catalyst for sure.
Yeah, so
It
really
get you content, but
I thought when I decided to bring that back, I immediately went back to when I first came up with the idea. And honestly, the idea for the name was half of a ripoff of Between Two Ferns. Zach
yeah.
So the setting was like, okay, here's Between Two Ferns, and here's this interview, and I love those episodes I love that show. But over a couple of beers, my thought was when people get together and have a conversation, they do it over a couple of beers.
Right.
People go on a date. They do it over a couple of there's a lot of interactions that happen in life over a couple of beers. So it's not just about beer, it's about the experiences that you have while consuming beer. So if we can bring that to the podcast waves, that's truly the direction I want to see the show go. So I'm in a position where a lot of the people I know are in the beer world, so I have to expand my comfort zone a bit and start reaching out to people outside of that world. But I'm sure the first few episodes will have nothing but beer people. But not that that's a bad thing.
No, not at all. Especially, if you already have a rapport, it's easier to talk to people that way.
But I think, of the people that were on the show before, you can go back in the archives, they're still live, and listen to those shows. We didn't necessarily tap into some of the passions besides beer or besides whiskey with some of the guests. There's more that we can cover, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'd like to bring some of those guests back, and then, okay, let's tap into something else.
Right on.
And that's going to be the direction we go, and I don't know when. Obviously not until Libations Week is over.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be busy.
Yeah,
don't spread yourself too
unless
thin.
they pass that 26 hours in a day rule, there's no time. There is no time. So here we are.
Awesome. Well, I think we have an extra special thing for our listeners. You already mentioned that there's a coupon code, but we're also going to give away one VIP ticket to the kickoff event on October 12th. So I'm going to let Jason pick this. And we did this with Fresh Fest. We had a phrase that pays. And we had our listeners DM us on Twitter.
Okay.
So they're going to have to retweet the post we put up that'll promote the event, but then they also have to DM us just so we know that they're actually, paying attention and not just kind of prize picking it.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
But go ahead and pick the phrase that pays that you want everybody to just kind of get into their mind.
Jesus. You can edit out all the silence, right?
Yeah, can do.
I mean, that's a pretty good phrase that pays.
Jesus.
Jesus.
I'd like to get a bunch of DMs like that. Jesus.
You're in.
How about we use our hashtag Drink Pittsburgh
Okay.
or Drink PGH? That's the hashtags for Libations Week are hashtag PLW, hashtag Drink PGH. Phrase that pays is Drink PGH.
Right on.
I like it.
Cool.
So all you got to do is just retweet that tweet, and when it goes up, you'll know which one it is.
We'll have our intern put it up.
Yes. And just DM us the phrase Drink PGH, and you'll be entered into the random drawing for one VIP ticket to Pittsburgh Libations Week kickoff event at Nova Place on October 12th.
And I will say, because I've done this before, if you want to buy your ticket to secure your spot just in case, go do it. And if your name is drawn from,
Then you have an extra.
It's either that or I can refund you.
Oh,
like if
okay.
you don't,
Okay.
if you don't
Right
have
on.
someone to bring
Right on.
But I mean, winning one is great because you can bring a friend, and that's
Right.
highly recommended.
Yeah.
However, if for some reason it's just you and you bought a ticket and then you want a ticket, I can easily refund your purchase ticket because you won.
Super versatile.
Right on.
That's right.
Jason's a good guy like that.
That's right. He's got connections. He is the connection.
He knows a guy.
He is the guy.
People know me. I'm like Red in Shawshank Redemption. I can get it for you.
You want a cheeseburger? I'll get you a cheeseburger.
Bag of reefer. That's your thing. Not me. That's just what they can do. That was the. Never.
I was like, so that's how Adam's doing.
That's where the edibles came from. All right.
I'd like to say that this Shiner is the best beer that we've had on the show, but I can't say that yet.
Well, so far it is.
So far,
Yeah.
it is.
This is a good beer. I'm noticing
is
that the glasses are empty.
Yes, glasses are empty.
And we even shook out the last drop. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
Steve over there.
I got the wee little bit
Like
last
we were
drop.
hanging out in a halfway house. You got it all
man.
out. We rinsed water around in that bottle.
I gotta get that last bit before I move to the sterno. So,
Woof. Woof.
but you know what? That was a pretty solid Oktoberfest. It was like soft. It wasn't. I usually am not a big fan of those beers because they get too caramelly. They get too malty on me.
Right.
I don't like that much. But that one is just kind of a nice, easy drinker.
I can dig on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Granted, for me, Oktoberfest, a lot of them are easy drinkers. Something I can get real behind. They're very malty. That's kind of my style. That's what I enjoy. This one is no exception to that. I like it. It's very drinkable. I'd have more than one.
Right on. Dennis, thoughts?
No, definitely. I mentioned it earlier. It's a good tasting beer. It's a little light for me. I think it's a good one to finish up the night. So if you're out having a lot of fun, it's a good one to end a couple of the rounds. But to start off, I would like something a little bit more malty or a little more full body.
Go, Jason. New to the style.
I like it. No, really good, real easy drinking. I think I have to agree with Dennis. If I'm going to go Oktoberfest, I'm going to want something a little bit on the heavier side, but that's not demeaning the beer whatsoever. I still think it's absolutely on par.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, for the first attempt of Shiner, they did pretty well on the show.
We assume it's their first attempt.
I'm pretty sure we never had them before.
I mean, first
On the
step on
show.
your show.
You are, all right.
Yeah,
I'll
on the
agree
show.
with that.
I was
yeah.
like, well,
I've definitely drank
It's a
Shiner
brewery out
before.
of Texas.
Yeah. I definitely drank Shiner before. I already talked about that birthday beer. That's really good.
They're storming the market. All right, Hop Nation, let's. You ready for that?
Yeah, it's just they're storming the market. You guys didn't see it, but Adam flailed his hands in the air for no reason. They're storming the market like the redcoats are coming.
It's that hot new thing, you know?
That's right. Get on my level.
You gotta get the people excited.
Gets the people going. All right, Hop Nation, we're gonna get paid. We'll be right back.
What is up, Hop Nation? This is Jason Cercone of BreakingBrews.com, also of the Over a Couple of Beers podcast that is soon to be coming out of retirement. You can catch up on old episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music, and follow OACOB podcast on social media. Looking forward to rapping with you guys on the podcast waves very soon. Today, I am here to talk to you about Pittsburgh Libations Week. That's right, the inaugural Pittsburgh Libations Week is coming your way starting Friday night, October 12th, and we are getting the party started in grand fashion with a kickoff bash taking place at Nova Place in the North Side. Nova Place was home to Fresh Fest, as well as the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild Brewery Guide launch. So we're looking forward to bringing another great event to that venue, and we are going to be showcasing all sorts of beer, spirits, meads, ciders, all types of fermented beverages will be on hand at this event. You do not want to miss it. So to get your tickets, all you need to do is jump over to universe.com/PLW Kickoff Bash. That's universe.com/PLW Kickoff Bash. You're going to get a good idea of everybody who is joining the party, who's going to be pouring samples for you guys, and you can grab your tickets to be part of the event that's starting it all. Once that event concludes, the rest of the week is going to be filled with all sorts of great events. We've got a golf scramble planned, we've got a whiskey dinner, we've got whiskey and beer symposiums on the schedule, an axe throwing tournament, and a lot of our great sponsors that are making Pittsburgh Libations Week possible have got some really cool events lined up. So check out the event calendar on our website at www.pittsburghlibationsweek.com, and you can also follow Pittsburgh Libations Week on social media. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for daily information and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll be rapping with you guys leading up to and all the way through the inaugural Pittsburgh Libations Week. We can't wait for you guys to join us. Check out the Kickoff Bash page once again, universe.com/PLW Kickoff Bash. We look forward to partying with you guys October 12th through October 20th.
Welcome back, Hop Nation. This is episode 80, also known as the Plexico Burris episode.
Of all the 80 wide receivers,
He went with it real quick, though. He was quick, confident.
Chris
That's right.
Carter, Jerry Rice.
Nope, let's remember the one that shot himself in a club.
Yeah, I guess I shot myself in the foot on that one.
Oh,
Nothing
God.
more Pittsburgh than that.
We are here. We're talking Oktoberfest. We got one under the belt. It's time for number 2. Steve, I'm going to let you introduce this one.
Fair enough. So the next beer we have is actually a little bit more, I don't know, I would say classic, brewed properly, possibly.
Okay.
We'll find out. But it's actually a collaboration beer between Otter Creek Brewing out of Middlebury, Vermont, and the Camba, Bavaria Brewery out of Seabrook, Germany. So it should.
That's cool.
That makes sense. They
Yes.
got a little bit of pedigree going.
Yeah, it should have a little more, I don't know, following the style, hopefully.
You would think so? But
I would
we don't
hope.
know that.
We
I
hope.
wonder how you do that when you do collaborations with breweries from outside the country.
I feel like it might work the same way that kind of McKellar works, where it's just the brewer shows up to your brewery and takes over.
Ah, okay. That's
But maybe they sent some people over from the Camba brewery and just gave them a recipe and said, "Here, follow this.
best brewing practices.
Don't divert."
Should have researched this. Just
Savage. The savagery.
Who invited this guy?
Jason's like Netflix,
Different
no
podcast.
chill over there. No chill.
So it is a 5.5% beer, though, so it should be a little bit of an easy drinker.
I like that.
Yes.
I assume IBUs are nice and low. Not that they matter anymore.
Negligible. Yeah.
just interject now that this has come up twice. Are there hoppy Oktoberfest out there?
I'm sure some
Could be.
asshole has made one.
I'm sure they
Yeah.
definitely exist, but I personally haven't had
That
any.
doesn't. Then it's not an Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of those guys. I mean,
And then that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
about what
exactly.
leads
And
to-
we're seeing that with the different variations on the IPA, it's moving away from IPA
Right.
to some degree. I mean, it's
Right.
it's changing the definition completely. Like your milkshake IPAs and
Oh, yeah.
things like that.
We've come to call them
Cascading
lie
dark
PAs.
ales, which are black IPAs.
Or, well, I don't want to go as far as stout, but
So this one's a lot lighter than the last one.
you think?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I
It
guess.
is.
Yeah, the previous one was a good copper tone.
Nah,
This one is lighter, but
I would
still.
Combination USA.
I'd call it a dark straw.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Dark straw. I have
Yes.
faith in this beer.
Sandalwood with Auburn highlights.
Oh, you noticed. Thank you.
On the nose, it's pretty malty.
I like it.
All right, well,
I'm going to drink it.
why don't you drink it and find out how much you like it?
As it turns out, I do like it.
You know what? I don't hate it either.
Wow, that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
This is saying something.
It has a little bit more of a like maltiness to it, but it's also like lighter.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Which is against what Dennis was looking for.
No, not necessarily, because with this guy, I find that the taste is a little bit more robust, a little maltier up front, but there's a lot cleaner finish, which I think gives it that perceived lightness.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Jason, any thoughts?
I like it.
He's consistent.
I'll say 2 for 2. Again, not being my style of choice. This is still another one that I'm not going to push it away if I have it in
Right.
front of me. But nice color, good flavor. I totally agree with the maltiness, and yeah, that's going to be about my best recap on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing with Oktoberfest is they aren't particularly exciting.
No, they're not.
So
Until you have a couple beer
that's-
steins,
see,
then they're really exciting.
I want to that's the comment that just as beer drinkers, like we're moving far away from what beer is, like what
Yeah.
we grew up as
Right.
beer, like saying, like, and that's what saying that it's not exciting. I think that's a tough thing to say because I think there's people that love this style of beer and they
absolutely.
jump all over and get super jazzed about an Oktoberfest. I don't know if any of those people are in this room tonight, but
Adam.
I would
I
be
do love Oktoberfest
yeah, I would be the
beers.
closest one of the group, I think, and I do enjoy them, but I don't yearn for them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like I said, they're all kind of the same. There's not much margin.
and that's what I wanted to say
change?
between, and now this being our second, it very, very similar. Aroma,
Right.
mouthfeel, all
Right.
of it's
Right.
pretty much
Right.
good across the board. I mean, I think you'd know if you had a bad one. The first 2
Yeah,
have
you'd-
not
yeah.
been bad.
Right.
They're
They're good. They're one of those beers. If you're over your Uncle Freddie's barbecue and you open up the cooler and that's in there, you're going to be excited because Uncle Freddie typically has terrible options.
I think Oktoberfest is the AC/DC of beer styles. It's the same album. It's just 12 albums of the same thing.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like AC/DC still gets the crowd rocking a little bit.
But you enjoy
This is-
this beer. This is good beer.
It's okay for me. It's not AC/DC for me.
That's fair.
But I'll say for appreciating
Foghat. It's Foghat.
it's Foghat. Yeah, there you go, Foghat.
All right.
I have the best of Foghat. That's pretty much the same song over and over. I don't dislike them though. I'll still listen to that, all 13 tracks. But I'll say for Oktoberfest, I think they're good for Oktoberfest
Yes.
because that way they're not really covering up any of the sauerkraut and sausage and fried foods and pretzels. They're not getting in the way
Right.
of those
I think
flavors.
that's a good point.
completely
Maybe that's
agree.
why they
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
I actually never thought of
Right.
it that
Right.
way.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's, I don't think it was all about pushing the envelope when this beer style was born
Right.
centuries
Right.
ago. It was all about just producing a quality
Right.
Something to
product
drink
that
with
you-
food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And to drink out of huge ass steins and
Oh, yeah.
celebrate.
And that's
the
where they
shit
made their
out of-
money, I'm sure. I was
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
some research on that, and I picked up a beer stein at Rogers Flea Market like 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah,
Start
Rogers.
Mall of the U.S.
Hell yeah, Rogers.
And when I was at Pittsburgh Oktoberfest at the event, I met this old German guy, and we were talking about beer steins. I was like, how do I know if mine's worth money? He was like, well, look on the bottom, see what it says. If it says Germany, at least it was made somewhere very reputable. So I did some research last night because I'm an insomniac, and I found out it was actually, the stein that I have was made in 1944. No, it wasn't Germany, and it's a $70 stein.
Holy shit.
Nice.
I picked that for $5. That might be my thing now. Is going around looking for like old cool beer steins.
So I do have a clarifying question. Was this gentleman an actual old German, or was he just a really big fan of old German beer?
No, both.
Okay, all right. The world knows no finer.
He was in one of the Oktoberfest bands that travel all over Germany and all over Europe and the U.S. doing their due.
Right on.
Oh, cool. Well, I guess we all enjoy this one. I don't completely dislike it, but yeah, it's kind of the same as the last one, but it does have a little bit of
Good representation of the
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. We need to put that on a t-shirt.
For the style.
That would be a really cool T-shirt, actually. Think about it.
Adam's been saying it for I don't know how many episodes, so
Pretty much since the beginning.
Is that where I got it from? I must have got it from an old
yeah. There's a damn good chance because anytime we have an IPA, it's for the style.
Right. I had to compartmentalize.
All right, well, we're going to give Jason a chance. We're going to kick it over to him. He's looking to get his interview skills up again with the return of Over a Couple Beers.
Slot in some skill points,
Yes.
if you will.
Yeah, so we're going to turn the reins over to our own show. I don't know how I
This
feel
is
about
kind of
this.
a scary moment.
I'm still an editor, so
I guess, right now, it just jumps into segment 3.
right. If it just jumps to us talking about the beer again, well,
Confidence inspiring, I gotta say.
pressure's on. Make it
Feel
good,
like-
funny man.
I feel like Ron Burgundy again. Once again, proudly reporting for whatever freaking news station they work for. I can't believe I forget that. I've seen the movie 1,000 times. But as we discussed earlier, Over a Couple of Beers is the podcast that me and my friend Jason Collins started back in 2015, I believe, was when we first rolled that show out. We made it 64 episodes. We were pretty consistent at first. Train came off the tracks after that. We were very sporadic. Then our schedules weren't meshing to where we could do the show together. I took over for a while. And then life got in the way, and we put the show on hiatus. But now, once Pittsburgh Libations Week is in the history books, I'm looking to bring Over a Couple of Beers back. So I asked these gentlemen, when we were talking about what we wanted to discuss this evening, what can we do for segment 2? I said, why don't we flip the hosts? I'll host and interview you guys and talk to Hop Nation USA. Glad to be here with all of you guys with this funny little spin-off rendition of Over a Couple of Beers.
Thanks for having us, Jason.
Happy to be here.
Glad you guys could come and hook up the equipment and get us ready to rock. It's gonna be so we're gonna have a damn good time. So for all you guys out there right now, an Over a Couple of Beers tradition is that you have to have a beer in front of you. So unless you're driving a car right now, or you're at work listening to this podcast illegally, or against the rules, please pour yourself a tasty beverage and strap in as we interview Adam, Steve, and Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
So, gentlemen, Hop Nation USA is now on its 80th episode. What was the inspiration behind bringing out Pittsburgh's 4th best beer podcast?
Arguing.
Pretty much. That's essentially what it was, and it got to the point where the arguments brought other people in,
Yeah.
where they got entertained by the arguments.
So you had guests for your arguments. is
I
what you're
mean,
saying.
I would say I think it might have really hit us when we were at Kane's Saloon.
Okay.
Up in,
Oh,
and,
Dormo?
yeah, because
Yeah.
the third piece of the puzzle, Sam, he's not here tonight.
Yeah, or-
But that's where it started, because it would start with Sam and Adam arguing over IPAs, and then I would say no, stouts are better, and then
Oh, man.
but I mean, that's kind of where it would happen, because we'd all come down to like Kane's or some of the other bars just along that West Liberty strip. What's it?
Quarter
Apple
pub.
Inn. Apple Inn.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, man, I can tell you a good story about Apple Inn with me and Dirta if you guys want to hear that.
I'm sure we'd be into it.
I'll tell that story as soon as we get a minute.
Yeah, but that's what it would be. Is like we would just be winding down the night and just arguing over whatever we're drinking.
Yeah.
And then like we'd just be taking tastes of each other's drinks, and it's like, well, that's okay, but try this and do that. And it's like, well, why not just like, we need a hobby, why not just do this for everybody?
Yeah. I think a lot of podcasts were born in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing, and that was Over a Couple of Beers, the same thing. Like we're drinking, we're talking about it, we're talking about other things in life. Why don't we just put a microphone in front of us?
That's essentially what it was.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it takes on a life of its own from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, me and Dirta. So the day for me was I first went to Hell with the Lid Off at Kelly's Bar and Lounge, which is the barley wine festival. So if you leave
Right on.
that sober, you did it wrong. Then I had to judge the old Pittsburgh Rugby Club's beer fest that they did. And I found out it was me and Doug Dirta, who you guys have had on your
Right.
show,
Oh, yes.
a good friend of mine. The Should I Drink That podcast. He's been doing podcasting since podcasting was cool.
Right.
Since it was
12 years since that show hit the airwaves. So anyway, I get there and I'm already a little tipsy, and then we end up obviously having more beers because we had to try everybody's to figure out who won. And Ironically enough, that's where we met the guys from Nobelstein, who I'm super close with now. I work with them and expanding their distribution, and they're fantastic guys. And their Saison was what we picked as the winner, and they weren't even. I don't even know if they had found a building yet. They were just in that very initial stages, and then and we've been friends ever since. But afterwards, so Doug and I both live like 3 minutes from each other in Mount Lebanon / Dormont, and we took the T from the station square because no one was driving a vehicle at night. I don't even think I don't think Uber was really a thing then, but I don't even know if I could operate my cell phone to do Uber. Man. So we ended up getting off at the Dormont stop, and a girl and her friend that we know, they had snuck out cans of beer. We were drinking those on the T. I didn't even realize we were doing that. I think that's illegal. Pretty sure that's illegal.
Illegal.
It was late.
Maybe at least frowned upon.
Yeah. So, long story short, we get to the Apple Inn, and I had quit smoking at this point for a couple of years, and that place is just a smoke shack.
Scream, yeah.
Wow, you walk in, and it's just a Tyson right cross of smoke to the face. I go to the bathroom, and then I come out, and Doug's got 2 shots of tequila lined up for us. Now, keep in mind how much we had been drinking before this. He's like, I told the bartender that your girlfriend dumped you. And so she gave us shots of tequila to help you feel better. I'm like, how is this going to make me feel better? Yeah. So now we're doing shots of tequila at the Apple Inn at like midnight with this smoke-filled nonsense. And I think we ended up at Tom's Diner eating dinner.
Oh, yeah.
That's
where
it goes. 2:30 in the morning. Oh, that was a fun night. So that's my one Apple Inn story. I'm glad it didn't just lead to fake dumping of the girlfriend / tequila shots for everyone. You guys got a podcast on.
Oh, man. When you come to a crossroads.
I can give a quick reverse story in a way.
Go for it.
We had been drinking for my birthday, and we were at the Apple Inn, and we bought bottles of Mad Elf, and then took the tea down, and we're drinking bottles of Mad Elf on the tea. Also probably frowned upon.
Yes.
Well, if you're going to drink, just drink.
No, inbound you're fine. Inbound they don't. Yeah. Going home though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules. I don't live out there.
So obviously, beer is a big part of your guys' life. I mean, just like all of us, we enjoy beer probably more so for not just the flavor, but the experiences they create. Obviously, it's led to businesses for Dennis and I. It's led to a great hobby and podcast for you guys, and who knows where that can end up going. But what else are you guys passionate about? What else gets you through the day and gets you excited to get out of bed?
So for me, I am a car guy. I do appreciate a good automobile. This summer, I had 3 vehicles. I'm down to 1 right now, which is really killing me right now.
Wait, how the hell did that happen?
I sold them.
Oh, okay. Well, it's better than them just disappearing and you accepting it.
That's right. I have a master plan in place of what I'm going to do with my garage. I have my car right now. I bought a new car this summer. It's a nice little GTI. It's a fun little car. But I also have plans. It's time to go into Corvette territory.
Ooh.
So that's part of the ultimate plan. So I had to make that decision.
See, there's sponsorship money in this podcast that we don't know about. Corvette territory.
No, somebody just has a good job.
It's either you're an engineer or there's sponsorship.
Don't tell Steve about the second one.
Hashtag white collar
He's just the editor. He's just the editor.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Hashtag pay Steve.
That's right. Me and Bobby Rahal, we're tight. But yeah, it's been a passion of mine since I've been knee high to a grasshopper. I enjoy motorsports. I've been into drag racing. I've been into autocross, track days, all that sort of thing. And that's just. It's part of my everyday life. If I'm going on the internet, within 5 minutes I'll be looking up cars on Craigslist. There's so many different projects I want to take on. I want to take a big old battle boat station wagon, drop a big lump of a V8 into it, strap a turbo to it, and just go dragging with it. That sort of thing. And that's what gets me up in the morning.
What got you into cars? Was it
I have no
parental
idea.
influence or just something you gravitated to early in life?
It was just something I gravitated to. I mean, my dad was, he enjoyed cars, but he wasn't really an enthusiast. He didn't have his own classic car or anything like that. It was just one of those things where it's just, I kind of picked up on it, and it was kind of supported through my youth. Like, yeah, let's go to a car show. Let's check this out. Let's go do that. And it just kind of grew from there.
It's awesome. There are way worse things that you can be into as a youth.
Yeah.
As a youth.
That's true. Like edibles.
Shut up.
You're going to kill the sponsorship deal. How about you, Steve?
So for me, I was always like a big film enthusiast, and that was just what I came up with. And I went to film school at Penn State and wound up getting a degree and all that. But now I've transformed that into, I'm a freelancer for editing film and editing videos and just writing. I had to do a lot of writing that I don't talk about, but
Nice.
it's like that also in a way wound up fueling the podcast, because learning how to edit audio for film, well, it's actually kind of easier for
Yeah,
podcasts.
it probably translates on a much
Yeah.
lower,
Yeah.
to a lower degree of difficulty.
Right, and it's also provided me the opportunity, because we have the TV show now, Yin's Brewing. I also get to edit that and do stupid graphics and carry on with that. But like that's my passion. Like if I'm not watching a movie, then I'm working on trying to work on a movie, or I'm writing something for a movie, or it's just always some sort of connection to that.
Yeah.
In some way. We talk about it a little bit on the podcast, but I don't go on like movie podcasts because I'd probably dominate the conversation.
All-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie is Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
And I'll even say the Redux version that's like an hour longer, where they stop at the French villa that's out in the like middle of a swamp, and they're doing opium, and yeah. It gets really
I don't know
weird.
if I've ever seen that. Well, correction, I know I've never seen that.
Take 3-4 hours for yourself. That's about how long it gets.
Yeah, about the same time as Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah. But it's a lot more about just losing your mind, but it's set within the Vietnam War. Yeah.
You got that
Crazy.
on Blu-ray?
No, I didn't have it. I had it on DVD when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like I used to watch it probably at least once a year in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, at least. Because it was always be like, that's my birthday, I'm gonna watch Apocalypse Now.
That's discipline. My favorite movies, I'll watch them a few times a year.
Yeah.
Fully know what's going to happen, just get lost in them. I like to do a Godfather binge, like all three, and yes, I'll suffer through 3 just to have the full experience. Movie's so bad, but
Yeah.
Well, like
that's what it is.
Predator and RoboCop are also up there, and I'll watch those anytime they're on. It's just because Apocalypse Now is 3.
Yeah, you really got to
like,
clear. Yeah, that's a.
You got a clear schedule for that one.
I'm gonna need a half day. Why?
Yeah.
Well,
Because I also always want to watch the entire thing.
Sure.
Like,
You can't half watch.
yeah,
Right.
I can half watch Predator. I can half watch Die Hard or Ghostbusters. Like, I know a lot of those by heart, so I know exactly where I'm at when I come
Right.
into them.
that's always been one of the funniest things about movies to me is that, like, when you've not new movies, but movies you've seen multiple times, is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that guy's going to pop out of the closet with a knife. But you still have to watch just to make sure they didn't change it on you. I always think like when I'm done, damn it, I could have been doing something productive for those couple hours. And it's still Tony Soprano. Still, we don't know if he got shot, but I had to watch the whole series just to see. But anyway, no, that's awesome. I know you guys are both big wrestling fans too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously a common thread there.
Oh yes.
So let's do. We're gonna just glaze over this topic real quick. The current product. Now, me, I'm a huge fan of WWE Network. I've been getting really into the Something to Wrestle podcast with Bruce Pritchard, Conrad Thompson, because they go through all the old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very, very big on the older stuff. Current product, some elements of it are okay. I will say they have some of the best production quality, and they do some of the best documentaries of any organization in the world, second to none. But the in-ring product, that's a little flimsy to me, very formulaic. What are your guys' thoughts on where they're at today in the WWE? Because we could easily talk about TNA and Ring of Honor and all that, but let's not. It's half-hour segment.
Right. So I'll say, I was out of it for a while. I was kind of tangential in college, because some of the guys I was in the film program with, they had a pro wrestling club, and so occasionally they brought in Chikara, when Chikara first started.
Yeah.
So I saw season 1 of that, but other than that, I wasn't into it. I got back into it with CM Punk.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty good for a while.
That was probably the last true good period, in my opinion.
And I'll agree with that one. That was kind of what drew me back in. Was the CM Punk era.
Yeah. He's so good.
And
yeah,
then,
it was such a good run.
And then when he went away, it all just kind of everything just fell apart a little bit.
Yeah.
They never built like a new star because he was the star.
Yes.
But then they never built a new one. But for now, I'll say like I don't really watch Raw or SmackDown, but the stuff on the network, you know, the tournaments they have, because they got the Mae Young Classic going right now. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And NXT is probably the best thing you can watch, like because it has the production value of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
It has better in-ring action than you'll see like with, you know, ROH. I can't speak to New Japan. I don't watch that too much. But, you know, they also do some of the like classic storylines. Like the storytelling is pretty good on there as well. So and it's only an hour.
I'm telling you what, 3-hour Raw you can't do it.
Impossible.
You can't do it.
I always evaluate what I'm doing with my time when I get done watching it.
Yeah. You
What
just
else
feel
could I
like-
have done?
Yeah, really? Every Monday? 3 hours of this?
It's like waking up in a bed full of Taco Bell family packs. You know
What did I just
how you
do?
look at it.
Do not threaten me with a good time.
Here's the thing. I remember the last time that happened. That was pre-marriage.
Is that why you were? I was gonna say, is that why you were late tonight?
Oh no, I wouldn't. I would still be in a coma.
Well, let's
Can't
talk.
do the show tacos.
Well, let's wake Dennis out of his taco coma and talk about First Sip Brew Box. So,
Yeah.
give us some background about that. And if you've done that on this show, I apologize. I'm just
It's been a while.
getting my chops.
I would totally have, but whatever.
Well, so
just talk about it.
what got you into this world and gave you the idea to roll with this and
Yeah, absolutely.
ultimately turn it into what's becoming a very successful business?
Yeah, I
from
left
what we
my
understand.
full-time job about 5 months ago and not homeless, so, you know, it's going pretty good. So it was on a road trip that previous girlfriend, current wife, were on going down south, and we went to Nanatala Brewing. It was in the small town in Bryson City in the Smoky Mountains. I wasn't even really into craft beer then.
Yeah.
Just started drinking. I was like, man, there's so much good stuff out there. And we started thinking to ourselves, well, you know, then every city we went to after that, we visited all these craft breweries, and we're like, this is really, really cool. We love the social setting. Everyone in there's talking to each other, having a good time, playing board games. You can't really do that in a lot of other places. So we just love that idea. And we were just shooting around, you know, ideas of what we would call a business. We know what the business would be, but we were just, you know, on a long road trip, just throwing names out. We're like, and it just hit us First Sip. And we were like, why? Because you know if you like something from the first sip, you know? So we turned that into, we started home brewing. So a few years ago, she got me a home brewing kit, and I loved it, figuring all the different parameters, playing around with it. With my engineering, like military background, I can't leave a puzzle unsolved. So I just had so much fun with it. And then from there, we're like, okay, let's go ahead and start a brewery. Let's see, you know, and again, that was 4 years ago at this point, where there weren't too many breweries around Pittsburgh, so there wasn't too many people to compare it to. We just didn't know the process. We're like, let's do it. So we researched it. Then as we were researching it, literally breweries were just popping up all over Pittsburgh. We're like, So not only do you need at minimum $300,000 to $500,000, the market's starting to get saturated. We're like, all right, let's pivot. Boom. Let's go ahead, and we love, from my Best Buy background, I love taking people through and finding out what they really like, even when they don't know what they like, asking them the right questions, recommending things. I was like, let's send beer in the mail. That would be really cool. And that was the year it became legal for you to receive beer in the mail in Pennsylvania. I was like, great. Legislation's on our side. Emailed the LCB. They sent me over to their legal counsel, and they basically said, Dennis, look, we have no idea how to do this, but to be safe, how about you have a liquor, you know, an alcohol permit, and you get either a distributor or you own a restaurant, and like, so you threw all these massive barriers to entry that we're like, okay, again, we're at that $500,000 mark, and we don't have that, so we could have used it as an excuse to quit, but we didn't. We're like, all right, let's really think about this. So we pivoted again, which I'm happy with it because it led us to the company that we have today. So now it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where we're shipping it to. You know, we're able to capitalize on this exploding market in two sectors, the subscription box platform and the craft beer industry. We combined both of them where you can get your unique beer swag from every brewery. And then we partner at breweries, small mom and pop shops over the country that make cool things out of beer. We send it to your house. We've had customers stick with us from day one. And they just get the box and give it out as a gift every single month. We have others who have started their own wineries and started their own companies because they would literally call me up, and because I'm very open with everybody and ask me questions. And that's another part where I'm really passionate about, is motivating others. Because, you know, I grew up, I didn't have a lot growing up. All I had was a loving parent. We had food, and we barely had a roof, but we had a roof over our heads. And being able to turn that into not allowing anything to get into your way. So that's one of my other passions, is helping people figure out what their goals are and giving themselves permission to follow their dreams. Because either one or two things are going to happen. You're going to help someone else follow their dream, or you're going to follow your own. That's it.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, congratulations on all your success and how far everything's come. And keep it going, man. Yeah.
I think you remember back when I had no idea what I was doing, I emailed Jason. I was like, this guy knows a lot of stuff. Let me try to use this random email.
Let's do some blind leading the blind today.
Yeah, but your website was so well done, and your blog, and you had all this content. I was like, oh, holy Santa Claus shit. I was like, this guy's been around. So I was trying to, pick his brain and everything. And who would have guessed, 3.5 years later, we'll be sitting having a podcast with Hop Nation USA. It's just about that, just being stubborn enough to never give up.
Amen. All right, well, I'm going to let the real host of the show take back over, but I thank you both for letting me, flex the pipes a little.
Yeah, not a problem.
Get ready to bring back over a couple of beers. So for you guys listening out there, over a couple of beers, we'll be back sometime, maybe in early November. We'll see how things shake out after Libations Week and my brief vacation and days off from all the planning.
Just not going to get out of bed.
Yeah. For now, you can find old episodes of the show at oaktoberfestpodcast.com. Right now, that's just a forwarding link over to Buzzsprout where the show is hosted. Also, I have Twitter and Facebook set up, OACOB Podcast for both. Hop over and like those pages, and you'll be able to stay updated on when the new shows will be coming. Go jump into the archives, hear some old episodes, discover what the show used to be, and we'll see where things go as it evolves into its 2.0 status. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Nice.
Taking the show back, we can just go right back to the beer. I mean,
we don't sound disappointed about it.
I'm not disappointed. I'm just saying
that was a lot of fun.
We have the best break ever, and now you go work again.
We have nowhere else to go. I mean, Jason did all the heavy lifting.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
So using a sick day, and it's like, damn it, gotta go back to work.
Yeah. I like segments. I don't have to work too much. That's why we like having guests on.
You allow me to rant and ramble.
Yeah, exactly. You talk a lot. Adam will talk a lot. I only got to talk a little bit. And
Hey, Dennis, after what you were saying, I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
No shit, right? Yeah, that was inspirational as hell. Yeah, that didn't hit you in the feels. You need to hit you in the feels lessons.
You're not a good human.
I mean, it's funny. It's not like Dennis's story isn't completely different from ours because, like, we were home brewers.
Right.
Adam and I were home brewers, and then we thought about opening a brewery, but then we're like, that's not saturated. It's too much. Too much.
Too expensive.
So we just started a podcast. But we didn't have anything half as inspirational as Dennis just said. We're just like, we're just going to do a show.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because I don't mean to jump back to this, but I remember pestering Jason to get on a phone call that I had no idea what I was even going to talk about. I just knew I needed to talk to somebody.
Did we have that call?
Yeah, we had that call.
I'm trying to remember that
we
call.
ranted and rambled for a little bit, and we both were just so busy. Yeah. It was just...
So I remember the first time I met you was at the Pittsburgh Beer Fest at David L. Lawrence.
Yeah, because is that when you were doing that beer pong, or you had a podcast there? What were you doing there?
So confession, I used the guy that was, I don't know, used sounds bad. Like this guy was doing the beer pong thing, and he wanted me to come and take pictures, and I used that as my ticket in.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I was in, I was just off doing my own shit.
Yeah, I guess you came over and you're like, Dennis. I'm like, Jason, you're like, great to finally meet you. It's like, what are you doing here? Man.
That was about it.
That's when I met Mark Brewer.
Yeah,
too.
Mark's
that same
buddy,
time and talking to him, and
Yeah.
it's just crazy how things happen. Then a year later, I met I met Steve at the
Brutal Beer Fest.
And then from there, they're like, come on a show. And then they were like, hey, you talk a lot and your jokes are not terrible.
Hey, you're entertaining.
They're bad, they're just bearable. So keep coming back.
Well,
That's the podcast litmus test. So get a mic in front of this man and let's roll.
Even back when I won that Modern Cafe contest, where you were doing your podcast down there at Bell's Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
I went down. I was so pumped because I was just starting out, or I was in business for a little while. And Jason was like, "You won!" I was like, "Sweet." He's like, "Come down, talk about first at Brew Box." That was what, a year and a half ago.
That was a couple years ago at this.
Yeah.
Well, we just did it'd be a year and a half because the last one we didn't really do a podcast or anything.
Yeah.
But every year we do a soup and beer pairing with Modern Cafe and Bell's, and that was an event that was just born from a tweet from Alan Wilde, who was the Yards rep. Now he's the Bell's rep.
Yep.
And it's very simple. We just get a few of his beers and pair it up with soups that the Modern Cafe makes, and you can get a flight.
Tasty.
It's an awesome. I mean, it was just we were combining two things we love, because he had put out a tweet like, "I wish there was a soup and beer pairing event in Pittsburgh," and I tweeted, I was like, "Dude, we could do that." I love both those things.
Make that happen.
And he's like, "Where would we do it?" I'm like, "Modern Cafe. They have some of the best soup in Pittsburgh." He's like, "Let's do this."
And that was the
there it is.
first podcast I ever did. Jason's like, "Come on!" I think at that
we
point
did a
we all
silent-
had a bunch of beers.
Oh yes.
That was that night.
We did
and then
it.
you were like, "Come on over," and then it was my first time like being behind a mic and just looking around after doing with you guys for so long. It's not intimidating anymore, but your first time, I'm like, wires, microphone. He was like, so he asked me a question. I just, I know I spit all over his mic. It's just crazy to see, as time goes on, you just keep working at your skill, at your craft, whatever it is.
Yeah, you
just get better at it.
Douche chills, go back and listen to episode 1 of Over a Couple of Beers.
Yep.
We had terrible equipment. We were sitting at Huff's. We knew nothing about. We had no format. We just did it.
Oh yeah.
And it was terrible. I mean, you go back and listen to it now, it's like, Jesus Christ. But it's, from a personal standpoint, I can see how things have evolved in regards to how I operate in front of a microphone and
Absolutely.
editing. Like, we didn't know anything about editing. I don't think we even edited that episode. We just
raw
I knew how to hit upload. There it is.
Oh, that's so
man.
good.
So in the interest of time, should we probably
We should.
wrap up?
Yes.
So on this beer, this is the Oktoberfest from both Otter Creek and Bavaria, somewhere or other.
Camba, Bavaria.
Camba, Bavaria.
Out of Seabrook, Germany.
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 Yes. It's an Oktoberfest. It's good. It's malty. I like it.
As well as I.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, malty up front, smooth, clean, crisp on the back end. It's a good drinker.
Brevity is wit. I like it.
Okay, moving on. Segment 3. We'll be back.
Miscast Commentary, a real-time movie commentary podcast featuring two best friends since they were children, Joe Findlay and Todd Murray.
Is that when the buddy's chasing him and he walks up the thing? Remember the old one with the lizards chasing Kurt?
No, I want everybody to say that, like, we do have a deep connection, the two of us, but then this is the kind of bull he asks me. Is this that one where the thing gets chased by the thing and goes up the other thing with the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that one.
The answer is yes, that's the one. But, like,
I knew you knew.
Catch new episodes every Friday wherever you get your podcasts.
If you could punch any horror icon in the mouth and get away with it, which one would you punch?
tell you one which one I wouldn't.
Pinhead.
Visit miscastcommentary.com.
They don't make them like this anymore, baby.
Hop Nation, we are back. We are ready for segment 3, which means we are ready for beer number 3. We're staying in the state of Pennsylvania here. This is the Rusty Rail Noktoberfest. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything special about it?
Yes.
What? Yes. Why do you talk like that? I had a stroke.
So this is a rye ale. It is brewed with blood orange.
Huh.
Yes.
See, now that's out of the traditional
Yeah,
style.
this is taking it to a different level.
So that's kind of why we
Alright.
saved it for the last.
That's
Yes.
smart.
You get your traditionalist in, and then it's time to wild out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say the last one was our traditionalist. Now this one's the goof around.
Yeah.
Possibly. We'll see how.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Rusty Rail has had that in the past.
Rusty Rail has a lot of goof around beers.
Yes, they do. And for the most part, they're pretty good. So
Sometimes, yeah.
I've got a little bit of faith in this beer. ABV, 5.3. IBU, don't care.
Okay.
You care, but it's probably not measured.
Probably nothing in there.
I don't think. Yeah, when we're talking a non-IPA
Yeah.
beer, who cares about the IBU?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not the point of it.
Pretty sure I said that on the last episode of the show. Continue
No,
to say
it's a good go-to. It holds true. I just know how much Adam hates elevated IBUs.
Because they're stupid.
I love them.
Yeah.
I like them.
Say you are more than welcome to have all of my high IBU beers,
Which is not.
No, he's not.
Really?
except for the ones that I like.
Except for the ones I like.
So all the hazy ones, which is all of them, you can leave with all the rest.
You're going to wind up accidentally giving away another can of 300 Fulton.
No, that's not an accident.
No, I want it.
Didn't you get it? Oh no, Kelsey.
No, Kelsey took that. Which, by the way, Fulton, if you're listening, send more 300.
All right, gentlemen, this is our Noktoberfest.
Now, this is the darkest of all three, and it's also hazy,
It is.
which you were looking for, Adam, before.
This I guess is
More
what I was
cloudy
expecting.
than hazy.
Thank you. That is a good clarification.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Actually,
He's here to make sure things are clear.
and all of the wires are plugged in.
Old people, while slow and dumb, can still serve a purpose. I'm almost 39. Got to get those in.
I don't smell too much on this one. Like, I don't smell any orange, for sure.
I get a tinge of the orange.
I get some orange. I get some
Yeah, a
of the
little
malt.
bit.
My nose might be broke today.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. Weather's weird, so whatever.
Yes. Talking about old man.
I don't care. I'll fully admit to being old as shit.
Say, do your knees hurt?
Yes. I got like 20 years left.
Make them good ones.
Yeah, at most.
Let's drink this beer.
Oh, weird.
So for me, I actually find this to
You
be.
sound like you chewed it.
No.
It is a little thicker. I will say that. It's chewy.
It is, but for me, I find it to be a little more refreshing than the other two.
I think of the three, it stands out the most. It's definitely got more. Trying to think how to word this the right way. Less of the Oktoberfest character of the three. I'm getting more of the orange. But I mean, definitely very malt forward.
This almost tastes just like a lager with orange in it, rather than an Oktoberfest.
I mean, is
a good way to put
that just in the name, though? I mean, this is not supposed to be an Oktoberfest, right?
They say it was a rye ale.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Okay.
So
in my head, the whole time,
Semantics.
I was judging that beer.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
'Cause I thought it was going for more of a spin-off of an Oktoberfest. But no, it's just a rye ale.
right, where that you thought that it was an Oktoberfest with just an adjunct of blood orange.
Yes.
Well,
Gotcha.
Well, and they might be doing almost like a spin-off like East End does with the Nunkin,
right.
which is their pumpkin beer without pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you see.
So
where that's going.
it says pretty explicitly on the bottle. They give the history of Oktoberfest beers and going back to 1810, yada yada, wedding.
Yeah.
And then it says, this is not an Oktoberfest. We chose to boldly defy tradition with a seasonal beer that puts a twist on German ingredients.
Good on your Rusty Rail.
Yeah.
I like
go.
that.
Yep.
Yes.
But we break away from the pack and run our own race. So yes, that's
Well
why it's a rye ale with blood
Well done.
orange.
Nice.
That's the very fine print. You have to put your bifocals on to get to it.
Listen, if you expect me to do research for this show,
No, I'm not faulting you in any way. I'm saying you got to get up close on that bottle to really. But yeah, Noktoberfest, not Oktoberfest,
makes sense.
I guess.
Right on.
But yeah, it's still kind of using the traditional ingredients because it has that malty forwardness, but you can taste like it's not. It's
Yeah.
not.
Correct.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a tight finish on the podium. Personally, I don't know what you guys
Yeah.
are thinking.
Yeah.
I know what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking I want more of the mint chocolate chip from Rusty Rail or the peanut butter Hefeweizen.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm thinking.
Now you're talking my language.
That peanut butter Hefe wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Even
I
though
like
I'm
it.
sitting on 2 cases of it.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to
Send
go
some my way.
surprise the wife with a 2 cases because when it first came out, she was super excited about it.
Yeah.
Not knowing that I was a little slow in the uptake because she had already bought a case.
Oh,
We had 3 cases, and now we're down to 2.
Who buys cases anymore? I'm just kidding. Totally just kidding.
Doing shows at like beer distributors, it's right there, and he's like, "Hey, I'll give you a deal." I'm like, "Cool, I'll take it."
I'll give you 1 can of tall grass key lime pie for half a case.
Holy smokes.
6-pack.
What? I don't have that much of tall grass. It's going out of
I'll do a
business.
6
It's
to
way
1.
more rare.
Do a 6-to-1.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool.
It's way more rare. Tall grass doesn't make beer
4
anymore.
cans.
I know. We're conducting business here on the show.
Sorry. We do have a segment, though.
I hope so.
Yeah. So last time Jason was here, we had a beer and wrestling pairing, and we put him up to the task. We're going to do the same thing this time, but we're going to change it around because last time, and it's not something that we did consciously, but we only did male wrestlers last time. This time we're going to do female wrestlers. 1, to make up for last episode, and 2, because later this month, WWE is actually holding their first all-female pay-per-view called Evolution. I think that's...
It seems very apropos.
Yes, apropos. So I'm going to turn it to Jason, and I'm going to let him introduce his first beer and wrestler pairing. We can see if we agree or not.
Okay.
Oh. You're switching this up on me.
I mean,
Well, all right,
we'll comment.
I did what I did before. I went with I think I did it wrong last time, but I think it ended up being
you did it right last time.
First wrestler that you gave me was Trish Stratus. I paired Trish with Hetty Topper from The Alchemist. Reason being, both pioneers in their respective movements, even though The Alchemist probably really wasn't setting out to do that.
Right.
That style was not something that they were expecting was going to become what it has become.
Yeah.
That was just how they brew beer up in that region of the country. And I know they've come out and said that publicly, that wasn't the intention. However, it's spawned a pretty damn big movement in craft beer. I'm sure you've heard of it.
That does not stop the fanboys.
But yeah, Trish
or
was
the Hayes boys.
She's been around for well, she's not around anymore. I mean, actively in the WWE, but she was one of the first ones that I can remember that really started showcasing that women can actually have some skill in the ring and do the actual wrestling thing versus just being valets or having the bra and panties matches, which, I never objected to those either.
Right.
And I know she did participate in those, but then, as a teenager at that time, and
yeah, I don't think
none of us were flipping over to Nitro when those were out.
Remember the Nitro girls? There was Scorpion and Nitro and
Kimberly. Anyway, so Trish Stratus was Hetty Topper.
Right on. I mean, I'll agree with that. It sounds about right.
That is exactly the approach that I would take.
Yeah.
On that, she's one of the OGs.
She's one of the OGs, and like a lot of people are still chasing after her. A lot of people are excited when she comes back. Not that Hetty Topper goes away too much, but yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
All right, 1 for 1. All right, so the next one you presented was Ronda Rousey, who many know from UFC fame, now WWE Women's Champion, or Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah.
I went local with this one. I paired Ronda with Undead Goon from Spoonwood, which is their barrel-aged Imperial Stout, which will come out in February. It's resting very nicely in a bottle now, or in a barrel now. Dead Goon is out.
Yeah, Dead Goon's on.
So I believe it'll be February when that comes out. Reason I paired her with that was it's awesome and extremely dangerous.
Yes, it is. I had that last year.
Beer is phenomenal, and I'm digging Ronda. I mean, she needs some mic work, which I think, whether that ever just keeps developing or they give her a mouthpiece. But in ring, she's way more further along than I thought she'd be at this point. Like, she's killing it, and it's great.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of like when Kurt Angle first started.
Right.
He was really good in the ring. The mic was, he wasn't great, but she might get a hold of it. She might not.
Yeah.
But, if not, they'll probably just pair her with somebody who's, give her a valet that can.
Yeah. Make her Paul Heyman girl.
Right.
Oh, there you go. I
See, right?
Everybody wants that, but I don't know if they'll do it. Like, it seems like Paul just might quit.
There was a light rumor that Kevin Owens was going to be a Paul Heyman. I was like, he's too good
he
himself.
doesn't need it. Yeah, he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
He's got his own thing going on.
Exactly. All right. So you guys agree with the Undead Goon pairing?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a dangerous beer, and she's obviously really dangerous for real, but she's actually pretty good in the ring. I've been entertained. I've been sports entertained.
I could also pair that beer with Brie Bella because she's dangerous in the ring too. She's going to kill somebody.
Different reasons.
My God, what a regression. Moving on. Number 3, this one I had to get a little creative. Tony Storm.
Yeah.
I admittedly have not been watching as much NXT as I would like. I did watch the last TakeOver. By the way, Tommaso Ciampa might be my favorite in wrestling right now. He's freaking awesome.
He's the best.
But that series of matches he's had with Gargano have been fucking freaking ridiculous. But Tony Storm, I had to look her up, and because I know nothing about her, I just went pure dude with my pairing. Ballast Point, Habanero Sculpin, because hot.
Yeah.
Well,
She's smoking.
She is a smoke show.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to do a little research after the show.
Yep.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
There's been a trend, and I've noticed over the past 4 years of Australian female wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Wait, she's Australian?
She's Australian.
Oh, that's an extra point
Oh,
right there.
Right, it's an automatic
Adam's
point.
getting that Corvette now.
But you had I can't even remember. Oh,
Emma.
Emma. I couldn't even remember what her name was back then. It's like she uses her real name Tennille now. But yeah, you had Emma, and then now you have Billy and Peyton.
You do.
Yeah, they're pretty hot too.
They're hot,
Okay.
but I'm not a fan of their act. And I should say that it's because it's just acting. I mean, and they're just not good actors.
Yeah,
and that's one of my bigger problems with wrestling these days is every promo is scripted. They don't have the freedom to just create,
to just ad
like they
lib.
used to.
Right.
Yeah, like when The Rock was out there and Austin was out there, they weren't handed a script.
No.
So now they're just basically and that's why like Baron Corbin sucks because he's just you could tell he's just reading memorized lines. Like let the dude be organic and see if he can actually do it.
Yeah.
But that's one of my bigger problems with wrestling. Period. These days, it's just all
scripting it too much, and it's just like
way too much.
They're not actors, and the writers aren't really good writers either. So
and to jump backwards for 1 second because I wanted to bring this up as well. Trish Stratus all of a sudden has this heavy Canadian accent. Like she never had that when she was actively wrestling. Now it's just sounds like the Rick Moranis character, the Strange Brew.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, a lot of actors can turn that on or off, like Hugh Laurie from House.
Oh yeah.
Straight,
regular
British, American guy.
Charlie Hunnam,
but
same way.
in real life, such a hardcore, staunch, like British accent.
That was a bit jarring the first time I heard him.
Oh yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Like, you're not one of us.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You're not Dr. House.
You were all hooked on pills. I could have swore you're American.
That show is so good.
What happened to the lupus?
So moving on, number 4 that you gave me was Becky Lynch. Now this is the one I struggle with the most. I was trying to not be stereotypical because of the red and whatnot, and I came up short. So I went very basic. I wanted to give my buddies at Levity Brewing a good plug, so I paired her with ICFC Straight Red, which is their amber ale that they did for the Indiana County Football Club.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's just a play on the red.
Right.
So that's a very basic pairing and probably the least exciting of the 6 that I have.
It's just the Plexico Burr statement.
Yeah.
It's the Plex reference.
Somebody's gonna like it.
People at Levity will like it. They'll be like, thanks for the plug, Jason.
All right, and I saved the best for last. Alexa Bliss, who for many reasons is my absolute favorite right now. She actually makes me believe that the promo she's cutting are legit. Like she's one of the few that if she is taking scripted lines, it's believable. And she's gorgeous. I would celebrate her entire catalog, but the pages are stuck together.
No,
not good.
it's because
I'm testing new material. We turned over a couple of beers. I had to see how that one got over. But
that's because of what you guys are thinking of. He has a daughter. I'm sure she's into arts and crafts and left stuff lying around. Come on, guys. He's a dad. He would never think like that.
Never.
My daughter's not allowed to listen to any podcast that I'm on or post until she's 30.
We've got that ready on the iTunes.
Start her own podcast. Like, I've seen her in front of a video and stuff.
Yeah.
Over a couple apple juices.
Well, she's very big into
apple juices.
She's into wrestling. She's been digging it. Guess who her favorite is on the women's side?
I would start with Bailey.
That's where I would go. No.
Asuka.
Oh yeah, right on.
Asuka, then Charlotte, and I think Ronda is now her third. She hates Carmella. She's with the rest of us.
Yeah, that's the other one though. Carmella is really good at making you hate her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I will give you that.
She might not be the
She
best
gets
in the ring.
No crowd reaction though.
No, yeah.
But I did pair Alexa Bliss with Hop Juju. That's one of my favorite beers. Because they're both the best thing going today. to steal something from the
for a hot
16-time
ginger
world
now.
champion. Ric Flair. So that was my pairing list. I think that was all you gave me, right?
Yeah. I gave you 5 and just said do whatever.
Well, yeah, I have to talk about her here because the restraining order says I can't get within 50 feet of her. So just use the podcast.
You mean you can't hang out at the Voodoo Brewery tap room in the airport waiting to get autographs or anything?
It'd be like on Saving Silverman when Jack Black's going after Neil Diamond. Neil,
I
want to party with you.
Oh man.
So there's that. Of all the segments we've done, that one just happened. That one's the most recent.
That was one that happened.
That was the most recent.
So with that in mind, I think it's time that we go back to the beers that we got going here.
Okay.
It's Noktoberfest. I think we've had a chance to try it. I think we all agree that it is different.
It is a beer that happened.
It is a beer that just happened.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was a bit more refreshing than the regular Oktoberfest that we had prior to. I thought that was something different. I kind of enjoyed that. I kind of liked that. It's going to be kind of tough to figure out which one's going to be in the gold medal position. I'll be honest.
Cool. Thank you.
Why'd you say that like you just got a review from an old man?
I mean, it's just cool.
Great.
Why
I mean,
are you in my
I don't
house?
I'm going to keep going now.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't feel the same way about it.
That's fine.
If I had to pair this beer with a female wrestler, it would be Alicia Fox because it's just kind of here.
It's crazy.
Well, it's not really even crazy. It's not wild. It's just kind of here, and it's unremarkable to me. I don't
blends into the crowd.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love what it tried to do. I mean, I like that Rusty Rail is very experimental, and I like some of the wild shit they put out. But they also have some misses, and I think this is one of them for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for me, now that I know what type of beer it's trying to be, I'll be up front. At first, I thought it was trying to do a spin-off of an Oktoberfest, but still maintaining some of that maltiness. So when I tried it, I just felt like it was missing a lot. Now that I know what the beer is trying to do, it's refreshing. So I agree with Adam in that sense, but at the same time, I like most of what Rusty Rail puts out. This just isn't going to be one of them. If someone handed it to me, I'm going to drink it, but that would be as far as that goes.
I think for me, there's not really a lot of beers that you can put it up against for comparison.
Right.
Because there's not a rye ale with blood orange. I mean,
right.
I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but personally, I don't think I've encountered one of those myself.
I think it's the only one in our market.
I think it had more rye. Like, just everything was flatline to me. It wasn't a drain pour. I'll drink it, but nothing like, There was...
See, I wanted more orange. I wanted more orange.
Oh, I love rye.
Yeah. I love rye too, but it's like, I feel like...
I think, I mean, you can't even really call it the true representation of its style because it's not.
It's just trying to be
an
whatever.
outlier. Yeah, it's one like I would agree with Dennis. I definitely would not pour it down the drain. I would drink it, but it's probably not like if I'm looking at 24 different beers in a tap rotation. Correct. I don't think that would be the one that I would go towards.
That's a perfect example.
That's fair.
But I still, like I said, I don't think that I want to applaud their strides to go beyond just your traditional Oktoberfest like the first two and say, hey, we're going to use the ingredients, but we're not going to go along with centuries of tradition. We're going to put a spin on this. And to me, I think when breweries do that, it's like, well, you're either going to like it or you're not. Mm-hmm. You know, if a brewery just comes out and says, well, I'm going to do an Oktoberfest, and if you like Oktoberfest, as long as we stick to the recipe and stick to the tradition, you're probably going to enjoy this one too. That one stands out a little bit, so I applaud them for doing that. And you said the same thing, Steve. Like, they do go against the grain with a lot of the beers that they do. Peanut butter Hefeweizen. Yeah. It's just something you don't see a lot of. So, yeah, I give them props for that.
And like a side caveat, the bottle art is super cool, so I would buy the t-shirt. I would definitely buy the t-shirt. For sure.
Yeah, that's badass.
So I believe it is now time. We got to go to the Hop Nation podium.
Patented.
Speaking of which, if anybody would like to sponsor the Hop Nation USA
Listen
podium.
to him shill.
What is this?
I just came up with it.
Okay. so you want to get the Hop Nation USA podium as sponsored by Mountain Dew, or is that what you're shooting for? Okay.
I'll take money from most anybody.
I'll sponsor the podium.
Brought to you by Sprint.
Breaking Brews presents the Hop.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm not giving you any money.
I said, just so you know, that's going towards Corvette payments.
There's got to be some in-kind shit we can work out here.
You could give us 3 beers for an episode, and then we'll do it that way.
Yeah, I could probably.
The Breaking Brews sponsored.
Swing that.
But yes, I believe it is time to go to the sponsor pending. No, I'm just kidding. It's time to go to the podium. Dennis, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to make you go first.
All right, so as far as how I will rank them, we'll start off at bronze. I would have to give it to the Noktoberfest from Rusty Rail. We just went over all that, so I'm not going to rehash it. It's a clean beer, just nothing super exciting. For silver, we'll go to our good friends out in Texas. Shiner for their Oktoberfest. Still good and malty. Just a good drinking Oktoberfest beer. But my gold for this segment would definitely be the Oktoberfest collaboration from Camba Brewery in Germany and Otter Creek. It gave a really good maltiness up front with a nice, clean, crisp finish on the back end. So I would actually be looking around here to see if I could find another one of those guys.
Right on. For me, I'm going to go with a different approach. Not saying that you're wrong by any stretch.
Because I'm not.
But you're wrong. For me, where I'm going to put the bronze is I'm actually going to put the Otter Creek there. The Otter Creek collaboration. The thing is, all 3 of these were decent beers. This one was the most decent. It didn't jump out at me, but I thought that the Shiner was just a little bit better of a drinker. I think if I had these 2 set in front of me, I think I'd go for the Shiner before I went with the Otter Creek, just by a little bit. These 2 are very similar beers, but I thought the Shiner was just a skosh better. So that goes to the silver medal position. The Noktober by Rusty Rail, I'm going to buck the system a little bit. I like that beer. I thought that was refreshing. That's going in the gold medal position. I liked it. Like Jason said, they're doing something different. If everybody's going to zig, they're going to zag. And I can appreciate that. So they are going in the gold medal position. They get the win.
Cool. So I'm going to stick kind of to what Dennis said, but not really.
Kind of, but different.
Kind of a different. Basically, I'm just agreeing that the Noktoberfest goes in the bronze. That's all. But I feel like that one, I like that it's trying to stand out and it's trying to be different. It's not just trying to be something that's on the tap rotation, like every other brewery has an Oktoberfest. However, I feel like I want more like orange flavor. If they can change the recipe up, I might like it a little bit more. I think it could be a little lighter and have more orange flavor. We were talking last week about Spoonwood's Cinnamon Ghoul, how that's a very early fall pumpkin beer because it's so light and it's so refreshing. It can even creep into the warmer September. If this Noktoberfest was the same way of being lighter and more refreshing and creeping into that kind of early fall, I would like it a little bit more. But the silver I'm going to give to the Otter Creek Oktoberfest as brewed in collaboration. It's probably the most traditional of the Oktoberfests, but it was still just a little bit too malty for me. So I'm going to give gold to the Shiner. It was the easiest drinking and just personal taste of, I'm not a big fan of these styles. So personal taste goes to the Shiner. That's it.
I get it. Same but different.
Yeah. Jason?
Well, because we're doing an Oktoberfest theme, but we had one that wasn't necessarily an Oktoberfest, I want to try to do this the right way. So, in my opinion, I would say I'm just going to go with what I feel is my favorite beer, not necessarily a representation of the style, but of the 3, I would say bronze would go to the Shiner, and silver would go to the Oktoberfest collaboration. And for no specific reason would one be ahead of the other. To me, they were both good representations of that Oktoberfest style, both drinkable beers. For me, probably a one and done. I don't sit and just drink a ton of Oktoberfest beers. And because it was an outlier and because I think they're trying to do something a little different, to me it's unfair to put the Noktoberfest in the bronze position. I'm going to elevate them up to the top because I did enjoy the beer. Again, not something that if given tons of options, I'm going to say this is the one I'm drinking first or drinking all night, but I do applaud what they're trying to do to say to hell with tradition. We want to do it a little bit differently. Yeah. I always love when a brewery does that because something different does come out. And again, there's really no frame of reference for me. I can't say that I would have that beer up against another one and say, oh, this one was better than that. Mm-hmm. I'm applauding the ability to move forward with something new. And it was drinkable. When people do, when breweries do that, it's a terrible beer. Then that's a drain pour. That's
trying to give those away.
Yeah, but I don't. Again, that one does not fall into that category. Right. It's very drinkable and gold medal for me.
Right on. Well, why don't you just keep it right on rolling and give out your final plugs, everything that's coming up for you, everything you want to plug, especially PLW?
Yeah, once again, going back to Pittsburgh Libations Week, the kickoff bash is Friday night, October 12th from 6 to 10 at Nova Place in the north side. It was home of Fresh Fest, also home of the Pittsburgh Brewers Guild Brewery Guide launch. Great place to have an event, very spacious, very well laid out. We're going to have a hell of a time with beer, cider, spirits, you name it, all kinds of different adult beverages, both born in Pittsburgh and distributed here in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a good time for all. Tickets are very affordable for what you're going to get. If you're a Hop Nation listener, they're even more affordable because you can use the discount code HOPNATION at checkout and save yourself $5. That'll buy you a beer later. In addition to the kickoff bash, obviously we have plenty more on tap throughout the week. October 13th through 20th is loaded up with some pretty cool events. A golf scramble, a really cool whiskey dinner, some education classes at Beerport at Spoonwood. We have Brutal Beer Fest, obviously. That's not an official PLW event, but me and Mag have partnered together to just help promote each other's stuff, and Brutal's always an awesome event. I know you guys have talked about that many times on this show. One thing I do want to mention, I can't remember if I brought this up before, but anybody that buys a ticket for the Pittsburgh Libations Week Kickoff Bash gets a free pizza from our glassware sponsor, Caliente Pizza and Draft House. A personal pan pizza, not a big pizza. But everybody that buys a ticket, you'll get that handed to you with your glass. So you can go to any of the 4 Caliente locations, get yourself a personal pan pizza. And we are giving away an all-access pass to one lucky winner that we'll draw at the Kickoff Bash. You have to buy your ticket for the Kickoff Bash, and you're entered. And anybody that already has bought a ticket is entered. We'll draw one winner, and that all-access pass gets you into all of the ticketed events for free.
Wow,
so that's
badass.
Right now, it is a $600 savings, and we're trying to tack a couple extra events on there. But we're talking the bourbon dinner at Cinderlands on Monday, which is a $120 ticket. You and a guest go for free.
Wow.
Brutal. You and a guest go for free. There's probably 6 or 7 other events on that list. And then I'm doing an event at Beerhead on Friday night. I'll buy your first 2 beers if you win that ticket. Wow. But it's going to be a triple threat tap throwdown between Noble Sign, Spoonwood, and Levity, which are the 3 breweries that I work with most intimately. And we're going to put 5 beers from each brewery on tap. I'll buy you a beer for that. If you come down and hang out with me. But it's one hell of a prize. We couldn't think of a better way to give someone the opportunity to experience everything, but you got to buy your ticket for the bash to be entered. So really, if you win that, Jesus, the value that you're getting is insane.
And it sounds like it's getting bigger by the day.
Exactly. So
you just won a week of fun.
Yeah. So in addition to that, the pizza, the chance to win, you also have your $5 discount with your Hop Nation discount code. These guys are going to be giving away a ticket, so you may get a ticket refund. If you do buy, or if you hang out and wait and you win, you're coming to the bash for free. If you win a ticket, you're also going to be entered to win the ticket or win the all-access pass. So lots of cool ways to experience Pittsburgh Libations Week, and you can learn all about our events on our website, PittsburghLibationsWeek.com, or on social media, PGH Libations Week on Facebook and Instagram, PGH Libation Week on Twitter.
And we usually retweet all of that stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yep.
So you don't have to write it all down. Like, wait, go back.
Yeah, lots of plugs. But yeah, if you just go to PittsburghLibationsWeek.com, it connects you to everything. And you can learn about the All Access Pass on BreakingBrews.com/All Access Pass.
Awesome. Well, Dennis, you want to throw some things out there?
Jump right in the plug line there.
Yeah, you're next.
First Sip Brew Box. You just pop that into Google. You'll find our website right there. Also, First Sip Brew Box on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Then we get yelled at every week about Twitter.
You'll get it back eventually.
We'll get better. Also, our next event, we're going to be at Pittsburgh Libation Week as well for the kickoff event. Super excited about that. Yeah, I know we already mentioned Brutal, but we'll be posted up there with our wonderful beer-infused jellies, hot sauces, beer soaps, beer pretzels, beer candles, all kinds of cool fun stuff.
T-shirts.
And them shirts, though.
And them shirts.
Shirts, though.
And Adam and I will both be at the Kickoff Bash and Brutal, so
That is correct.
You can see us there. We're getting a lot of public appearances. I want to stay inside.
If you guys want to bring the podcast equipment, you can set up and do a show right from the bash if you want.
Oh, there you go.
You guys should
Maybe. Maybe. But if you want to find us on social media, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA, and that'll get you Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday, as you should, just search Hop Nation USA on your favorite podcatcher like Stitcher, Podbean, Google Music Play, and iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review because
we are a 6-star show, but they only let us use 5.
And that's because we don't record in the Tokyo Dome. And that's the bullshit about all this. But you can also find us on HelpNationUSA.com and just tell your friends. That also helps us grow our show.
And then have them tell 2 friends.
Mm-hmm. Like a reverse funnel.
Yeah. That's how this works, man.
Yeah. Oh, I want to thank Dennis and Jason for coming on the show again.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Prost.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
No, I had a great time today. Again, 3 beers were all phenomenal. I found those on tap at any local pub or bar. I know I said this before where I'm playing pool, because obviously everybody can play pool and darts. But if any of those 3 were on, I would definitely jump into them.
Yeah, they're drinkable for that, yeah.
Do you know that somebody set up a bot on Twitter that anytime you use hashtag Prost, it'll respond to you saying Prost?
Oh, nice. Well,
you want to talk about the stupidest thing that I've ever found on Twitter? And I mean, the Kardashians are on Twitter. And that bot is stupider.
I'm pretty sure
or, ironically, more stupid.
Yeah. That is just badder.
I mean, that's bad, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kylie Jenner posted some shit like she just had cereal and milk for the first time.
I did see that.
How does, I mean, I don't know. I feel like at least the Pro Spot makes me, laugh.
Somebody put effort into it.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. It makes me feel wanted. She cheers me.
You've never struggled.
Kylie don't care shit about me.
You've never struggled if you haven't eaten cereal out of a bag. It was called like Tostios. It was nothing.
Don't you hate on that multi-meal life?
Multi-meal fucking
I'm
rules,
allowed
yo.
it. I can
Awesome.
do it.
We've derailed, boys.
Yes, we've derailed. This is the show just fading into
right.
existence,
So
talking about multi-meal.
That's right. Let's lock this down. All right. Hop Nation, thanks for joining in. We'll see you next week. You'll hear us next week. You won't see us. We'll see you.
The s'mores is the best bag.